What's up, guys? How's it going? So in today's video, with this whole thing about AI, I just want to talk about, should beginners be using AI to code? And at this point, AI is going to be here forever. It's just going to get better and better as time goes on. And there's going to be more investments into LLM systems. And it's going to help with just solving a bunch of small problems that you don't necessarily care about. Just kind of get you to the bigger picture, okay? And there are some benefits to using AI, don't get me wrong. For example, if you needed to solve a problem that requires more brain power, you can use AI as an assistant. You could prompt it a question, it will give you an answer, it'll probably give you a code snippet of what the problem is and then also the solution to that problem. And then you could copy and paste it into your project, make sure it runs correctly and all that stuff. But the more complex that it gets, the more issues you might run into to where you have to prompt AI multiple times to get you to the right answer. But it will help you solve problems a lot faster as opposed to scouring the internet, like go on Google, Stack Overflow, go on forums like Reddit and all that stuff just to kind of figure out what the problem is and also what solutions other people have tried and try it on your own. At least for a beginner, your problems are going to be very simple. You're not going to be dealing with like very complex problems. So it's going to help you solve problems a lot quicker and get you to learning and understanding the foundations a lot faster. And then also debugging too. It's going to help you with debugging a lot of issues and actually get you into the cadence of using the developer tools or actually creating breakpoints in your IDE and Visual Studio Code or whatever IDE that you choose and understand exactly where the problem is. Walk through the code. With AI is going to help you with, if you run into an error, you could paste that error into the AI prompt. It will find out what the issue is and give you the solution, a possible solution. Then also it enhances your learning. So with AI, you now have an assistant that you could ask it any question you want. You don't have to go and reach out to someone just to get an answer back. You could use AI, prompted a question. I'm trying to build this type of app. I'm trying to build a to-do list app or an actual, like a portfolio website, right? Like, how do I go about doing this? There's an IDE called Windsurf that's made by Codeium. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can check it out. But basically, it's AI built IDE that allows you to prompt it a question and it'll actually build out the project for you. So if there's something like very simple that you don't want to set up the boilerplate for, like a portfolio website, if you're using React with Vite, trying to get the CSS together, try to get the sections together to put, to get your portfolio in a good format, you could use Windsurf to do all that stuff for you. And all you got to do is just prompt it a question, and then it will do everything that you need it to do. In that regard, it's very good for beginners to understand what kind of code it's writing, but then there's some caveats to that as well. Even though it has its benefits, there's going to be a lot of negatives with it. And you're going to have to either have AI make the mistake for you, and then you have to jump in and understand exactly where the problem is, or you could take initiative and actually learn on your own and fix those errors by yourself. So some of the considerations that you should have with AI itself, okay? You could over-rely on AI. You could over-rely on taking whatever solution is given back to you as fact. As a beginner, you're not gonna know what's fact versus BS. You're just not, okay? You're gonna sit there, you're gonna be like, okay, this is the answer, and then you're gonna paste it in, and then it looks like it's working. You run the code, and then you find another issue. You're gonna prompt the AI to fix that issue, it's gonna fix that, but then it might break the other thing that it first fixed. You're gonna go through an infinite loop of problems. And AI can hallucinate at many times. I've ran into that multiple times, just trying to solve a very complex problem or trying to get to at least a middle ground of a solution to a problem. And then it will take me down a huge rabbit hole. The solution to this is just to not use AI for every single thing. It's to use it as a guidepost to where you should be or what path you should take, okay? Then once you get the basic answer, you get the code snippet, you get the explanation of what's going on, you have to really analyze what's given to you and be like, you know what, I don't really need to go this route, but now we're getting somewhere. Now I could branch off into something else. So it should be used as a tool to help you, but not be the end all be all to the solution to your problem. Because ultimately, if you don't know how to use AI with your own skills, you're not going to find an opportunity. You're not going to do well in the pool of developers that are out there today. And you're just going to sit there and be, discouraged. So you really need to use AI as just your guiding post and your helper to solving these problems. Another thing too is understanding the code. Like I said, whatever's prompted to you, whatever solution it is, you're not understanding the code. If you can't understand the code, you're gonna have a problem. Because what if AI goes down? If you have to solve a critical problem, say for example, you're working for a company and you wrote some code that is affecting production and now it's causing a huge issue, are you gonna rely on AI to do that? If it's down, you're screwed. Okay, so now you have to really figure out how to analyze your code and figure out what problem happened, because AI can make mistakes. All this stuff about, using AI to do every single thing is going to create more opportunities for developers that are more experienced, that have done the work, have sat there and understood the foundations of a particular language and what route it takes to become a developer. If you can't do that, you're gonna stay a beginner the entire time and you're not going to get very far. You have to always have a contingency plan, and that is your brain. Knowledge is power, bro, not these AI tools. And then also best practices. As you're writing your code, there are standards, right? If you don't have standards, then your code is gonna be all over the place. You're gonna have a lot of tech debt. So having a standard to where you're following, okay, this is how I'm going to be writing my functions. This is how I'm going to be setting up my variables. This is how I'm going to be creating for loops, and then also managing data, large data sets. How I'm going to be managing like the UI itself and how to dynamically build that stuff out. If you're a front-end developer, also like back-end, how you're going to process data and all that stuff. If you can't figure that out, if you don't have a standard of understanding best practices, you are going to run into major tech debt. It's not an end-all be-all problem, but when it becomes a problem, now it's all hands on deck. So make sure that you future-proof a lot of your code and not have to rely on AI to decouple everything that you're doing and try to make things a lot easier. It is crucial that you have that mindset to understand that there is a standard. You set that standard that you created, and then use AI to help you fill in those gaps. So those are some of the considerations and some of the cautions that I have with AI. Like I said, I use AI every single day as a full stack developer. I do. To solve like even the smallest to the more complex problems, I look at whatever the solution is and take it with a grain of salt. At least I could tell whether it's going down the right path or it's not. Because if it's going down the wrong path, then I have to prompt it another question. I'm like, hey, this is cool, but what about this scenario? What about this edge case, And I'm thinking of different scenarios that could happen in production that I don't have to necessarily have to think about again and have to go back into the code and make some more changes. I want to be one and done. I want to focus on a different area of the product and go on my way. With that, here are some of the best practices for beginners using AI. And this is something that I personally noticed while using AI. And I'm gonna give you some of the key steps that you should take with incorporating AI within your tech stack, okay, or what you're learning. Always use AI as a learning aid, never as a crutch to solving every single problem that you have. Because at the end of the day, AI could get you so far, but then if it goes down and you don't know how to solve a problem, you're gonna be screwed. Screwed, bro. And then it needs to complement your learning. If you want to learn a language and you're actually taking the time to watch video tutorials, read a book, go through like an actual course to understand what's going on, and then using AI to kind of help you with the project, that's fine. But you need to have the foundational knowledge first. I think as a beginner, you should spend at least 3 to 6 months of learning on your own, and then figure out whether you want to use AI within that time span. Okay, don't just start using it just because everybody else is using it, because it's going to lead you down the wrong path. 3 to 6 months of hard work, dedication, of understanding whatever language that you're trying to learn, all the languages that you're trying to learn in coding, then use AI as a supplement to your learning experience, okay? That's gonna help you tremendously grasp the concepts a lot faster. The last thing is you gotta practice independently, meaning you need to practice every single day. Carve out time to practice every single day. By you practicing, you're gonna be building up your knowledge. You're gonna be building up your foundation. You're gonna be understanding what it takes to be a developer. These things are very important. If you're just, like I said, relying on AI to do everything for you, I mean, there's not much you're gonna be learning. You're just gonna sit there with the deer in the headlights, trying to understand what you wrote, and you're not gonna understand a goddamn thing. Just don't jump in hands-on with AI. Understand that it can be wrong. Understand that if you are using AI to build everything for you, you are going to run into a lot of problems because it's not perfect. And just like us developers, we are not perfect as well. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of debugging. And you need that human brain power to get it done. Not just an LLM system that's just going to go out there and try to figure out everything and give you the answer back, because it could be riddled with false positives. All right. So that's it, guys. That's the video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys are using AI to its full advantage, or you're using AI just to build everything for you. All those 3 things I just talked about, the foundation, actually having the experience and the confidence to do it, and then also the gratification of having that knowledge under your tool belt trumps everything than using AI as the end all be all. All right. And if you need help with your projects, understanding exactly what tech stack that you want to focus on, just better ways to go about navigating the tech space and getting opportunities, you can reach out to me at thefullstackbro@gmail.com. All right. Talk soon.